for those who don't know what happened, when the war in Ukraine started, Brittney Griner, that's his name. That her name. So she's a WNBA player, and so she's been since February arrested for having weed, marijuana, oil, vape oil, and so she's been arrested in Moscow, and then I guess Moscow has used her as a bargain to exchange. So they kept her there, and they finally released her. In exchange of Viktor Bout, who is, I think there was a movie about him called The God of War, which I love that movie. And apparently they called him in the US the Merchant of Death. So listen, everything to do, a lot of hashtags, a lot of, so some people are happy in the US, because in the US now it's very hard to have to do something that makes everybody happy. Some people are happy because she's a woman, and she's part of the LGBT plus family, and she's an American citizen, and she's black as well. So a lot of people are happy that she's back home. Listen, she has a family, she has a wife. Listen, I would be happy for her. I'm happy for them. It's normal. Now, some other people are unhappy that she's been exchanged for Viktor Bout, who is the merchant of death, a person who was an arms dealer and who's been convicted, serving a sentence of 25 years for conspiracy to kill Americans. And a lot of people are not liking it, especially because there was another person, an American spy, who has been in prison all this time. So I don't know, maybe Paul Whelan, maybe if they did, she seems happy to go back home. Maybe if they did her plus Paul Whelan, it would work. But I think a lot of people are pissed that they preferred swapping a person that is always criticizing her country rather than somebody who wasn't, he's a Marine, a veteran that is accused of espionage. So yeah, listen, it's complicated. I'm not American, so I don't have listen, I believe that if you are held hostage or a prisoner somewhere, you should be able to go home, and the best outcome would have been for both of them to go. Listen, Joe Biden has faced pressure from within his own administration as well as his political opponents in securing the release of basketball player from Brittney Griner from Russia, according to reports. There's a large discrepancy between those two offenses. Conspiracy, listen, it's complicated. It's not something that is easy, but I understand. I mean, I don't know. It's complicated. I guess the difference is one is a sport a sport a sport professional, an athlete, and the other one is more what people deem a convicted terrorist. But even I mean, he didn't kill. He wasn't arrested and in prison for killing people. It was for conspiracy. So, I guess it makes more sense to trade a spy for him. But yeah, I would have traded both of them. But listen, what are we gonna do? Maybe the Russian said, "Hey, listen, you want another person? Fine, give us also that person." Who knows? As for the people who say that she doesn't love her country, listen, you have the right to criticize your country, even if it doesn't make you less American that because you criticize what you deem flaws in your country. I criticize France all the time, and I always say that I don't like to live in Paris anymore. It doesn't mean that I'm not proud to be a French citizen. It just means that, yeah, I have things to say about my country. And after 10 years living in Portugal, I also have a lot of things to say about the great things and the bad things about Portugal. It's just being honest. It doesn't mean that I don't deserve if I get God prevails. If I get abducted by a country, that people don't go and save me just because I say something bad about whatever. So listen, yeah, in those times, it's, I guess, I don't know if the Biden administration did this for political gain because of what she represents, being a black woman in the LGBT. Is it the reason why they chose her over the other one? Maybe. Listen, people don't know. Maybe the Russians said, no, that one is a spy. Hell no. You don't know. It's a negotiation that they had to do. And listen, hopefully the other one can come back as well. But I guess for the other one, you're going to have to, something is going to have to give as well. I saw the interview of the guy, Viktor Bout, on the Russian television on RT. And he said he had no ill feeling towards American, and being in America in prison for 14 years, he learned a lot about American. And he said actually a lot of the common Americans that he met in prison, they actually feel the same as him, like that they are losing their countries, that the countries are that people are losing the Christian religion is living slowly for people worshiping other things, and that you really feel that those countries are more or less the same, going through the same crisis. And I advise you to go watch his video, his interview. That was somewhat interesting. So listen, well, he's back home as well, so his family must be happy as well. Listen, he served 14 years for conspiracy. So he didn't do all his time, but he did like 30% more, 40% of his time. 15 out of 25 years, 14 out of 25 years. It's listen, I don't know what he's gonna do now that he's back home? Is he somebody that is just a businessman, or is he a Putin, somebody that is near Putin? I don't know, but listen. Nevertheless, I guess I'm happy for both families, right? And yeah, listen. Good luck for everybody. Prayers for everybody involved. I don't have listen, I don't have a horse in the game. I don't because if you tell me personally, if you tell me that he's the merchant of death, listen, nobody caused more death in the world more than the Americans. Every time they go save countries, they actually go to suck your oil. They destroy everything. And listen, you want to count how many people died in Afghanistan, how many people died in Congo, how many people died in all these places where all these people who are giving lessons. You want to check how many people died? Listen, millions of people died because of all the weapons. Like the merchants of death. You know how much money America makes every year for selling weapons? 1.5 trillion every year. That's the market, and I think America is 70% of that market. So they make more than $1 trillion every year from selling weapons that are going to kill people around the world. So when you call Viktor Bout the merchant of death, I'm like, yo, you the lollipop merchant of death. So listen, stop the hypocrisy. Yeah, listen, they got her in the beginning of the war. She was a pawn for the Russians. They played well. They got their boys. It is what it is. It is what it is. Next time, tell your people to don't go and vape the wrong and bring some cannabis vape, whatever. That's what are we gonna do? Russia got game. The US is quite divided over the release. Yeah, they are. I mean, they should be happy, I believe. The US have been divided just about everything. Yep, that's for real. In the US, it's crazy.